Good afternoon. Good afternoon. No mercy from you guys, I see. Welcome to another 45-minute Akwaaba Yoga session. Today, Sunday, the 21st of November, which means we've got just over 30 days till Christmas, but no presents for Mark today. I can see everyone's trying to get me to do some abs by starting 15 minutes late. Thanks a lot. I see your names there. All is noted. Revenge will be sweet. But yeah, I hope everyone is well and have had a good week. Thank you for the banter to get us started. Let's get on the mat. Seeing as I'm a bit late today, we're going to be focusing on the quads. How shall we start? Let's start on our feet. Let's take our feet so they're just beyond hip distance apart. We're going to find ourselves arriving on a mat. Maybe close the eyes, open up the palms to the front of the room. Just roll the shoulders back so we're staying nice and upright. Just feel the ground underneath the soles of the feet. So let's feel rooted and grounded. We're just in a natural breath here. Just gently inhaling and exhaling. On each inhale, the chest is just elevating slightly. On each exhale, we're softening through the body. If your eyes are closed, I invite you to blink them open. Let's take our palms, tucking our elbows in to the ribs. Palms are facing up towards the ceiling. Let's take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, flip the palms over and start bending the knees as we come down. Flip the palms over to draw energy up as we inhale up. And exhale to come down. Inhale to draw up. Exhale to release. And again, inhale to bring energy up from the ground. Exhale, let's force down, press down anything we don't need, any negative energy. Inhale, inhaling positivity. Exhale, we're releasing. And again, inhale to come up. Exhale to bend. Maybe close the eyes for the final three. Inhale to come up. Exhale to release. Two more. Inhale up. Exhale, release. Inhale to come up. Exhale to release. Final one. Inhale, let's drop all the energy from the ground. And take us through the class. And exhale, open up the eyes. Just relax the arms down. Let's take our feet so they are now hip distance apart. I'm going to come into just gentle exercise with the shoulders. On the inhale, bring our hands into prayer at the front of the body. Taking the prayer up towards the ceiling. On the exhale, we'll open the palms up to the side and bring the arms down. And again, inhale up. Take the gaze up towards the ceiling. Exhale to release. Two more. Inhale up. Exhale, release. So finding movement with the breath and matching it with the body. Inhale, draw the arms up. Exhale to release the arms down. Let's shake out through the ups. I'm going to turn the face to the front of the mat. Bend the knees to come all the way down into child's pose. So we'll come into Balasana. Knees apart, feet together. Let's first come sitting on the heels. Before we come down, let's just walk the hands back. So we come to a nice early stretch into the quads. Let's see how far you can walk the hands back. Maybe until the palms are flat on the floor. We're not coming all the way down onto the back. Maybe take a slight bend into the elbows and then press back up. And again, bend into the elbows and then press back up. Maybe in your fingertips, take a slight bend. Feel the stretch through the front of the quads and hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Press back up. Start to walk the body forwards, walk the hands forwards on the mat. Slowly we're coming down, we're lengthening out through the arms. Bring them forward as close as we can to the floor. Again, I invite you just to close your eyes here. So we're long in the arms. On each inhale, we're feeling our belly press against our thighs. And exhale, releasing out. Finding a bit of space in the hips. Inhale in and exhale out. On next inhale, let's press up into a tabletop. So placing our hands and our feet hip distance apart. Let's come into some cat and cow. So we're going to just undulate through the back. Let's take the gaze up towards the ceiling, or up towards the front diagonal, I should say. And on the exhale, take the angry cat position. Pressing the hands into the mat. Inhale, drawing the shoulder blades together, the tailbone goes high. Exhale, navel to spine, take your gaze towards the belly. And again, inhale to look up. Exhale to round. And release out. Let's come back into a neutral position. We're going to curl the toes under here. Press our hands into the mat. Lift the knees up off the mat and come into our downward facing dog. Just start to walk out through the toes. So finding a stretch, coming to our calf muscles. Let's go high on the toes, lifting the heels up off the mat. Our gaze is towards the back of the room. In between the back legs. The back legs, you haven't got front legs. In between the legs. Let's come to stillness. Start to energetically draw our heels down towards the mat. Press our hands into the floor as we lengthen up through the arms. Find a space in our back. On the next breath, let's come high on the toes and jump or walk forwards. Let's meet together at the front of the mat. And a gentle forward fold, just sway from left to right. Maybe take a slight bend in the knees. We're heavy through the body and through the head. Slowly gonna just sway the body up, keeping the arms heavy and the head heavy. As you come to a standing position, reach the top, start to roll the shoulders back. The head comes up last, we're facing the palms forward. Again, an out Tadasana. Here for another 2 breaths, just embracing the stillness. 1 more breath. On the inhale, let's take the arms, the prayer high towards the ceiling. On the exhale, we're bending from the hips to come all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Rolling the shoulders back. On the exhale, bending to the knees, placing the hands down at the front of the mat. Stepping the left foot all the way back. Landing on the back toes, dropping down onto that left knee, uncurling the left toes. Once you feel nice and stable through the body, let's lift up off the right thigh and come into that low lunge. So on the inhale, we'll draw the arms up towards the ceiling. Again, let's engage through our transverse abdominis. Our ab muscles stay nice and tall through the torso. And on each exhale, we're softening a bit more into that right knee to find a stretch through the left thigh and the left hip flexor. Here for another 2 breaths. One more breath. Let's curl the hands down towards the front of the mat. We're curling the left toes under, lifting up off that left knee and jumping that right foot back and meeting in high plank. We're holding high plank for count of 3, count of 2, and 1. And let's drop down as the forearms. We're coming to forearm plank. So who was it was calling for abs today? I think it was D-Man. Maybe it was Alice. Maybe it was B. Here's your abs. This is my punishment for 3, for 2, for 1. Let's place the left hand back down on the mat and press up back into our high plank for 3, for 2, for 1. Let's rock forwards onto the toes. Feel free to drop onto the knees or come straight down to a low plank. Bend into the elbows. Press up into a cobra or upward facing dog. And on the exhale, we're lifting up through the hips and coming back into our child's pose. Walking the hands back, bringing the forehead down towards the mat. Take a deep inhale in and exhale out. On the next breath, let's inhale up into our tabletop, curl the toes under, and come back into our downward facing dog. Inhale in here to come high on the toes. And jump a step forwards, bringing the feet to the front of the mat. Ragdoll. Inhale to come up for a halfway lift. Rolling the shoulders back, along in the back, along in the neck. Exhale, soften to release. Inhale, sweep the arms up, all the way to the ceiling. Exhale, draw the hands to the center of the chest. Here we go again. Inhale, prayer goes high. Exhale, bend from the hips to come all the way down. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend into the knees, placing the hands down. This time, we're lifting up through that right leg. Taking the right foot all the way back towards the back of the mat. Land onto the right toes, drop onto the right knee. Curling the right toes, and when we're nice and stable, let's lift the torso up off the left thigh. Come to low lunge on our right side. When you're ready, let's swoop the arms up towards the ceiling. The arms at either side of the ears. Give another 3 breaths. Another 2 breaths. Again, on each exhale, see if you can soften a bit deep into that left knee to find a bit more space to stretch out through the right quad and the right hip flexor. One more breath. And on the exhale, bringing the hands down towards the front of the mat. We're curling the right toes under, lifting up off that right knee and jumping that left foot all the way to the back of the mat. And we're meeting that Kumbhakasana, our high plank. Just rock forwards onto the toes. This time we're dropping down onto the right forearm and then the left forearm. For our forearm plank for 3, for 2, for 1. Placing the right hand down onto the mat and pressing up back into our high plank. For 3, for 2, for 1. Let's look forwards into the toes. Feel free to drop onto the knees or come straight down to the low plank. Let's press up into our upward facing dog or our cobra. Tucking the elbows in towards the ribs. And on the exhale, lifting up through the hips and walking the hands back. Once again, let's meet in our child's pose. Deep inhale in and exhale out. On the next inhale, let's press up into our tabletop. Let's curl the toes under. Lift the hips up towards the ceiling to meet in our downward facing dog. Deep breath in here and exhale out. On the next breath, let's lift up through that left leg so it's parallel with the floor, curling the toes and towards the face. And on the exhale, let's go knee to nose. So drawing the left knee all the way through the body. And let's step in the left foot so it lands in the front of the mat. Let's drop into that right knee. Once we feel grounded, we're going to lift that torso up once more. From here, we're going to go right heel to right butt cheek. So we're going to find a stretch for our right quad here. When you feel grounded through the left sole of the foot, let's start to lift up through that right heel. And that might help to swing the right hand back, or maybe the left hand, to grab hold of the left foot. I've got tightness in my right hamstring. So I'm going to imagine yourselves doing that today. So you're taking the right heel towards the right butt cheek. Sit up nice and tall and catch your right foot with both hands. Drawing that right heel in. You aim to get a deeper stretch with the right quad. I'm listening to my body today. My right hamstring isn't going to have it. It might pop if I do it. Keep that hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Got the hold. Release the right foot. Let's bring the hands back towards the front of the mat. Lift up off that right knee. And jump the right foot forward. Once again, we're going to meet in our ragdoll. Sway from side to side. So the beauty of yoga is that you're not in competition with yourself or with others. So if something doesn't feel right, just allow yourself to be aware of what your body's saying. I can feel my right hamstring tweaking. I didn't need to embrace the ego and try and do something that would have caused me any sort of injury. Slowly just start to sway up through the body, facing the palms forward as we meet into Tadasana. On the inhale, swoop both arms up towards the ceiling, and on exhale, bend the hips to come all the way down into your forward fold. Inhale to come to a halfway lift. Exhale, bend into the knees. Let's place the hands down on the front of the mat. This time we're lifting up through the left leg. And stepping the left foot all the way back towards the back of the mat. Dropping down to the left knee. Curling the left toes. And let's lift up off that right thigh. This time we're going for the other side. So again, listen to your body here. I think my left hamstring is fine. So this time we're going left heel to left butt cheek. So let's lift that left leg up off the mat. Maybe grab the left shin with the left hand. And you're drawing that left foot in towards your left butt cheek. Maybe take your right hand into a mudra. Taking your right thumb and your index finger together. And you're slowly softening into that right knee. Keep your torso nice and high. So you can start to draw that left heel in towards your butt cheek. And the higher you can sit up in a pose, the deeper you're going to get in that left quad. We're here for another 3, another 2, another 1. And on the exhale, gently release that left foot down. If you weren't able to grab the left foot, in your own time, you can practice by using a rope and just grabbing onto the rope from either side and pulling in. It's a nice variation. Let's bring the hands back down towards the front of the mat. Curl the left toes under, lift that left knee up and jump that left foot forward. Once again, let's meet in ragdoll at the front of the mat. Just sway from side to side, keeping a bend in the knees. Slowly sway up. Until we again meet into Tadasana. Facing the palms forward. On the inhale, sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. And bring the prayer into the center of the chest. On the inhale, go higher to prayer. Exhale, bend the hips to come all the way down. Inhale to come to halfway lift. Exhale, bend to the knees, take the hands down. Just lift up through that right leg. Stepping the right foot back, dropping down to that right knee. And curling the right toes. And just start to walk the hands back, lifting up the left toes as you come into a stretch into the left hamstring. So long in that left leg. On the inhale, we're nice and tall for the torso. On the exhale, we're drawing energetically our chest towards that left shin. So again, let's try not to just drop the head down. Stay nice and long in the neck. Maybe walk your hands forward. So you can feel the stretch coming through that left hamstring. Here for another 2 breaths. One more breath. Just curl the right toes under. Lift up through that right knee. I'm going to jump that left foot all the way towards the back of the mat. I'm going to meet in our Kumbhakasana, our high plank. Rock forwards onto the toes, bend into the elbows. Either drop the knees or come straight onto a low plank. Let's press through the toes to come up into an upward facing dog. And on the exhale, curling the toes under to meet in a downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale out. This time we're lifting up through that right leg so it's parallel with the mat. We'll take it knee to nose. Draw that right knee all the way through before placing the right side of the foot down. Dropping onto that left knee and curling the left toes. Let's start to walk the hands back. As the right toes lift up off the mat, feel free to shuffle the right foot forward. And we'll come to half splits on this side. So we're stretching out for the right hamstring. Again, feel free to walk the hands forward. Take a deep inhale in. And on the exhale, we're energetically drawing the chest towards the right shin. Again, maybe walk the hands forward. Nice and long in the neck and the back. On the next inhale, taking a bend into that right knee. Curling the left toes under. Lifting up the left knee off the mat. I'm going to take the right leg all the way back to meet the left. As we meet in our high plank, what falls into the toes, jump to the knees, or come straight down to low plank, bend into the elbows, tucking the elbows in. On the inhale, we're going to press up into an upward facing dog. Exhale, curl the toes under. Once again, it meets in a downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale in here and exhale out. On the next breath, let's come up high on the toes, jump or step towards the front of the mat. Inhale to come into a halfway lift, rolling the shoulders back. Exhale, soften to release. So you can place the hands down at the front of the mat, bending some knees as much as we need. Keep bending so the heels lift up. I'm going to start to walk the hands back as we come into the bums. And lengthen up both legs along the mat. So nice and tall. On the inhale, take both hands up towards the ceiling. On the exhale, start to fold forward from the hips. Just maybe take the hands to the outside of the calves. On the inhale, sit nice and tall, lengthen, exhale, bend. So use the grip to energetically draw your chest forward. If it's there for you to grab the underside of the feet, that helps for you to come a bit further into the bend, then feel free to go for that. Any variation is a good stretch for the hamstring. We're here for another 5 breaths. And when we're working on the quads are an opposite muscle to the hamstrings. So when we're stretching out the hamstrings, we're relaxing the quads. And vice versa. When you're working the biceps, the triceps are relaxed, and vice versa. So it's always good to find balance between these opposite muscles. Start to release out of the pose. When I come into the quad and the glutes, I'm going to bend up into that right knee. Let's step the right foot up and over the left leg. On this occasion, we're going to place our left hand down and bend into that left knee. So we're taking the left heel and tucking it in just behind our right butt cheek. So I'm going to come I'm going to say a bit deeper into the stretch here. I'm going to lift up through that left arm, taking the left arm up towards the ceiling and using the bend, the crease of the elbow. We're going to wrap that around that right knee. That's not quite there for us. Feel free to use that left hand and just grab onto the outside of the right knee. Either variation, I'm going to just hug that right knee in. So creating a stretch down the piriformis, the outside glute or the glutes. Let's take our right hand and place it just behind our body. On the inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, we're twisting over towards the right. Keeping our chin over our chest. Inhale to sit up. Exhale to twist. Inhale to sit up. Exhale, twist. And start to release out of the pose. Let's take both legs out in front of us. Just give them a shake. I'm going to switch and take the opposite side. So this time we are bending into that left knee. So left knee's pointing out towards the ceiling, lifting up that left foot and taking it up and over the right leg. And this time we're bending into that right knee. So our right foot sits just behind our left glute. On our next inhale, let's raise that right arm up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, we're taking the bend into the elbow, wrapping it around the front of the left knee. Or maybe it's that right hand on the outside of that left knee. Either variation works. Again, just Draw that knee in towards the chest. Just place the left hand just behind us on an inhale for crouch and sit up nice and tall through the body before coming to the twist. Try and keep your left buttock down on the mat. You might find that it starts to lift. If you can keep it on the mat, that would be great. And you should start to feel a stretch down into your left glute through the piriformis. On the inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, twist in. Just keep the chin over the chest. Inhale to sit up. Exhale to twist. And one more. Inhale to sit up. Exhale to twist. On the next breath, let's release out. I'm going to shake out through the legs. We're going to swing both legs. So we're coming up onto our shins. As gracefully or ungracefully as that might look. Come onto the shins here. So be mindful of your knees in this next asana, this next posture. We're just sitting on the heels. And as we started at the beginning of the class, where we warmed up through the quads, we're going to see if we can go a bit deeper, a bit further back. Again, just listen to your body. Start by placing both hands behind our back and then start to walk the hands towards the back of the mat. So let's go to the point where you can start to feel a stretch through the front of both quads. Maybe you're coming down onto your hands and keeping a bend into the elbows. Maybe it's there for you to come onto the forearms. See if you can keep your bum on your heels. Just feel your stretch coming through the front of the quads. If your back comes all the way towards the mat, then feel free to take that variation. Whilst you're here, engage through the core. As you're engaging through the front of the body, you'll probably start to feel a bit of tightness as you come a bit deeper into the quads. Lift up through the chest. For another 3, another 2, one more. On the next inhale, press up through the arms. So come back onto the heels. So sitting nice and upright. We're now going to come into camel pose. So find it again in front of the body, come to a back bend. So let's lift up off the heels. We're drawing both heels both in towards one another. Taking our hands and sitting our hands just above the lower back. Drawing the elbows in. Again, we've got an imaginary wall here, just in front of the body, just if one is just straight dumping into the lower back. So on the inhale, start to draw the elbows together, take the gaze out towards the ceiling, or keep the chin towards the chest. And maybe that's the variation today of camel. Or it might be there for you to grab onto the back of the heels and start to shine the chest up towards the ceiling. 3, for 2, for 1. On the inhale, come back up. Bring the bum back down towards the heels. Here for a couple of breaths. And let's go again. On the inhale, we're coming back up. Maybe take the same variation. Or if you want to explore into the practice, you can go a bit further back into the arms to really come into your back bend. So next breath, let's draw the elbows together. And start to shine the chest up towards the ceiling. Again, feel free to take the heels or walk the hands back onto the mat. And we're here for another 3, Feel as if you're pressing your body forward for another 2, another 1. On your next inhale, engage with the core to come back up. And sit back onto the heels. Place your hands on your thighs. Take a deep inhale in here. And sigh it out. We're going to swing back onto the bum. We're going to have both knees point up towards the ceiling. I'm going to start on the right side by lifting that right foot up and over the left thigh. So the right sole of the foot is facing the left side of the room. Your left knee's pointing up towards the ceiling. Your hands are pointed towards the back of the room. Maybe start to shuffle the bum forward on the mat. So we're taking a variation of half pigeon. We're coming a bit deeper into the hips. So just shift your bum forward as far as it will go. You're keeping your right shin so it's parallel with the front of the mat. You're energetically pressing that right knee forwards towards the front of the mat. So you can start maybe feeling the stretch coming into the right hip flexor, maybe a little bit into the right glute. Give another 2 breaths. And 1 more breath. And on the exhale, start to bend into the elbows. We'll come down onto the forearms. Keeping the legs where they are. I'm going to lower down onto the back. I'm going to take the same pose, but with a variation of us lying down. Start to lift that left foot up off the mat. We're going to thread that right arm in that little gap just underneath the left calf, so we can grab the front of the left shin and take your left hand, just interlace it with the right hand, and just start to draw that left knee in towards the body. Maybe you're lifting your head up off the mat. And we're holding it here for another 3, another 2, another 1. And start to release that left foot back down. Bring your head back down towards the mat so your back is flat, as is your head. The back of the skull is on the mat. I'm going to come to a variation of bridge here. So we're going to start to lift the hips up off the mat. Taking the hips up towards the ceiling. So engage with the glutes. And we're holding here for 3, for 2, for 1. And slowly bring your back down, upper back, middle back, lower back. Take that right foot off that left thigh. So both knees are pointing up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in here. And exhale out. Slowly, we're going to bring the rock up into a seated pose. It's probably easier. We'll take the opposite side. So this time, we're keeping a bend in the right knee. So the right knee's pointing up towards the ceiling. We're taking that left foot up and over that right thigh. So this time the left foot is pointing towards the right side of the room. And we're aiming to take that left shin so it's parallel to the front of the mat. So again, you may be feeling it through the left quad, the left glutes, the piriformis. Just walk or shuffle the bum forwards onto the mat. So you're reducing the gap, you're reducing the space between the right heel and the butt cheeks. And we're using the arms just to anchor the body forward. So you can feel yourself come to stretch on the left side. Rather than relaxing that left foot or that left knee, we're aiming to press that left shin or the left knee towards the front of the mat. So you can start to experience a stretch. And start to release out. I'm going to release out by walking the hands back. So coming to the forearms and then coming down onto the back. And start to walk that right foot back. So again, we want to aim to see if we can keep that left shin parallel with the front of the mat. Once we're comfortable, we're not experiencing any pain in the knee, drop the arms down either side of the body. We're going to start to come into that variation of bridge pose. So on the next inhale, I'll press in, taking our weight into the right side of the foot, and lifting the hips up towards the ceiling. So press the hips up towards the ceiling. Maybe take the left hand to help us open up through the left hip. Here for another 3, 2, 1. Slowly come down, upper back, middle back, lower back. So our back is flat on the mat. This time we're taking the left hand and feeding that left hand in between the gap just underneath our left shin until we can take the front of the right shin. And we're taking the right hand and interlacing it with the left. We're lifting that right foot up off the floor. And just start to draw that right shin, the right knee close towards the face, so our head is up off the mat. We have another 3, another 2, one more breath. Slowly bring the right shin back, the right foot back down. Release the head back down towards the mat. Release that left foot down, so both knees are pointing up towards the ceiling. Let's take Supta Baddha Konasana, so feet together and knees apart. Just release the knees down towards the sides. Let's take our hands. Let's place our hands at the top of the thighs. So use the gap in between the index finger and the thumb of both hands. And just let our thighs sit in between that gap. And slowly start to press into the top of the thighs as we find length in the back. So you're pressing your thighs away from your body. If you're holding your breath here, come back into your natural breathing or your Ujjayi breath. And release. With the hands, just start to massage out through your quads. So you gently just massage into your left quad and your right quad. Just bring the knees together, draw the knees in, and again, rock up into a seated position. Let's take our hands into closed fists. And again, just gently tap the quad muscles here around the front, just above the knees. We're just waking up the quads, just bringing awareness to this large muscle here. Just keep tapping. And then relax, pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. Let's take both arms out towards the side. Engage with the core. Slowly we come down into a lie flat on the mat. The palms are facing up towards the ceiling. Just close the eyes for just a couple moments here. We're not long in Shavasana. Let's take one big inhale in through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. And again, inhale in and sigh it out. If you use Ujjayi breathing, just come back into your natural breath. Just have the eyes closed for a couple moments. On the next inhale, start to draw both knees in towards the chest. Giving them a hug in, take the head up towards the knees. And just rock up into a seated position. Either come into a cross-legged position or come onto the shins. Bringing the bum down towards the heels. Sit up nice and tall. Place your hands in your lap. You can rock, roll the shoulders back. Shining the chest through. Just close your eyes. I invite you to close your eyes. Let's take one final breath in and release. If your eyes are closed, start to blink them open. All done. Thank you. Thank you for your patience with my timing. Went out for a cycle ride this morning. I definitely felt quite tight in my hamstrings. I had to modify the session a bit today. Modify it. So I did less on the quads, as you probably saw, less than intended anyway. I had to balance out through the hamstrings, otherwise I would have been amusing to watch during this session. I could feel them tweaking today. So I'd slow down a little bit, do a bit more on the mat, but hopefully it was a good session, a bit slower than last week. But anyway, I'm gassing a lot. Thanks a lot for joining in and for your banter, your amusement. I tell you what, next week I'm going to do abs. It's going to be abs just for you guys, since you wanted to punish me today. But yeah, have a great Sunday. Have a great week ahead. Stay positive. Enjoy each moment. Live for the moment. Live for the day. And yeah, look forward to seeing you maybe next week. I may not be on the mat next week. I may have a surprise guest teacher fitting in. But anyway, I'll stop talking. Have a great Sunday, and we'll catch up again on the mat soon. Feel free to hit a like and subscribe if you haven't done already. Yeah, I'll see you in the future. Bye-bye. I owe you abs. You'll get abs.